have to log it, plow it, because we're gonna get an inch of rain on Saturday.
I'll call the December 29th meeting, the Board of Selectmen to order, and the first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next item we have is Police Department Rfqs, and hopefully everyone had an opportunity to take a look at them. We want to go through and list our scores. Dwight,
Well-
do you want to start, Dwight, or?
Did we all score?
I'll start. Do you want me to speak to any of the?
Yeah, if you'd like.
All right. I'll just kind of go through what I put down. Company background material, I thought they both had significant construction experience, and they both have been in business for almost 5 decades, so I gave them 5s, 2 of them there. Public safety experience. What I found here was that they have significant fire facility experience, not necessarily with police departments. Over the last 5 years, Hutter's got 2 police renovations and 1 new construction. 1.1 million, 5.8, and 10 million. And the 2 police renovations were in Massachusetts, for what that's worth. And they do not actually have any public safety experience in conjunction with Warren Street. Everything that was listed, the work they did have done with Warren Street, none of it's public safety related.
Mm-hmm.
Ekman, over the last 5 years, 1 new police construction, which was Plastow. And the only other one they're involved in is the pre-bond situation with Candia. And that police construction in Plastow was $6.5 million. So I gave the slight edge to Hutter in that department. Although again, neither one of them really have a whole lot of experience with police departments. Key staff experience. Hutter identified the fact that Nels would be the director of pre-construction services, and the project manager, Joe, did have experience with the Ashby, Mass. Public Safety Facility, which was one of the ones I mentioned before. As far as the key staff experience goes with Ekman, principal there, John, is expected to be involved throughout the project, and Preston would be involved through the pre-vote phase. He'd be the contact for the pre-bond vote phase of it, and they were both involved with Brookline and Plastow. So Hutter didn't really, aside from Nels, they didn't identify specific people that would be working on the project. Local knowledge, Hutter, they made reference to the fact that the school is going to be involved in some work along with the town here in Deerfield. Ekman, their local connection would be the fact that Keach would be the civil engineer on the job here. And I thought it was kind of neat that they detailed the Primex study on the police department and their work. And they also had, as you saw, the layout of the spot across the street and all that stuff. So I thought they did give them credit for doing their homework in that department. Quality of proposal and ability to perform. Were they told to keep it under 40 pages?
Yeah, right, 40 or fewer.
Okay, well, Hutter was 47 pages.
Did you
Ekman
count
was
them?
31. I counted them, yeah.
Couldn't be bothered.
'Cause that Hutter was a
Huge.
good-sized book, yeah. But, I mean, both the proposals are very nice. You know, really, these are, for all intents and purposes, advertising pieces that we read through. So I think the references are a key. I mean, they're both big, they're both capable. I reached out to an individual that was involved in Hutter's construction of that church in Manchester, $2 million project. And they had really nice things to say about the process and the people that they dealt with. They worked well with them. They listened to them. Some of the parishioners had some thoughts and ideas about different things, and they took, they listened and paid attention to that sort of stuff. So that, I thought that was pretty good. And also the references that John was able to contact, I thought leaned kind of in Hutter's favor. And Hutter also works with TF Moran, who I know to be a pretty good company. So if you want a number, I got 55 to 45 Hutter over Ekman.
55 for Hutter?
45 for Ekman.
Okay. Alden?
Well, I didn't go through and score them.
Oh, you didn't?
A little too engineerish for me. I read them both.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. I understand where you're coming from. I read them both. Initially, I was impressed by the fact that Ekman is working next door in Candia. Thought that would help. Hutter came off as a much bigger organization. But then I read them again, and then I read the Brookline references, and unless these numbers come out completely wacky on the quote, I would have to go with Hutter. I think it's a much bigger company, which I don't necessarily think is a plus for us. But I think, on the other hand, they've done way more construction experience, and I was much more impressed by their overall list of achievements, whereas the Ekman seemed to be pushing the Plastow job again and again and again and again and again,
Yeah.
which doesn't have much actual relevance for what we're doing. It seemed quite large, whereas with the Hutter you had the the Webster and Canterbury stuff, which I thought fell more in line with the size job that we were going to do. So they're not close. It's not like we can all pile in the town vehicle and drive over and see them.
Right.
But, my position was I was going to lean towards Hutter on that one. Give it like a 70-30.
Cindy?
I left it all in my car. Reading through it, I have to agree, they both have great backgrounds. And I like the Ekman too until I read the references. But I'm not so sure that, there was really only one reference there, besides Candia, and that wasn't a very good one. The rest of them were voicemail, correct?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd have to go with Hutter too, looking at their projects, and they were closer to what we're looking to do.
Dick?
I'm going to get shot. I didn't see the thing from John before I did it, which I'm glad I didn't. Because I went by what was in each envelope per se. I went 72.63 for Ekman. And basically
72 Ekman?
Who gets the extra 5%?
63 on Hunter.
Yeah.
Both, I know a lot of the jobs they were on, and they all make sense. I just thought that Hunter was a little scary how big they were for what we need to do.
Well,
I thought they both came in with a great proposal. Can't believe the homework they put into it. We don't bid jobs like that very often.
But are we gonna have interviews with each of these? Is that what?
Well, I guess
we're-
that's what we'll decide on. Well, I guess we can probably take and open the,
Well, we need your numbers, Fred.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, Fred, help me out here.
All right, going through with, as Dwight did, on company background, I gave a slight, I gave 5 points to Hutter and 4 points to Ekman. Public safety experience, I gave a little bit more towards Ekman, 18 versus 15. My comment was Warren Street had more experience with police than what Hutter did, and I think that's kind of what Alden was saying. On key staff experience, gave 23 points to Ekman and 21 to Hutter. On local knowledge, and this is probably what separates the two for me, because Ekman went through and looked at the site across the street and made some comments, and really Hutter didn't do a heck of a lot, so I gave 5 points to Ekman and 1 point to Hutter. And quality of proposal, gave 5 to Ekman, 4 to Hutter. And when you get down to references, I gave 15 to Ekman, but 20 to Hutter, based on what John had. I've got a project in Plastow that I went down and checked on. I was hoping to try and talk to somebody in Plastow with regard to their public safety building, and the person who I was expecting to talk with was on vacation. So it took care of that. So when you tally them all up, I had 70 for Ekman and 66 for Hutter. And now with Alden and Cindy's preferences to Hutter, it pretty much swings it towards Hutter. At least that's what obviously I was very close. And Dick wasn't too far behind me, so.
No.
And I guess the question ends up being, do you want to have interviews with the two before we open the price proposals, or do we want to just say the heck with the interviews because the views that we have here, and we'll just open them up, and assuming one isn't way the heck out of proportion to the other, would end up going with Hutter, I guess.
I mean, the thing that really struck me was the Brookline reference.
yeah.
But like Cindy said, if John called 4 and one project hasn't started yet, and the other 2 we got voicemails, it is kind of a rough.
We need to put John's thing away and look at what we got,
Well, I think
and then get the prices, or,
we got 20 points going to the references, and
right, but weren't they in here?
Did I miss why we didn't get any for Hutter?
No, we did,
we did.
on the other side.
Where was that on my
But it was just,
email?
if one job comes back with significant building issues, I mean,
Right.
that's the big thing that swung me there.
Right,
And how the issues were handled.
Yes.
right.
Didn't sound like they were handled all that well. I mean, they're definitely close. I mean, it's a pretty close race here, I'd say, for sure.
The price will probably play into it, won't it?
Yeah, it will. So do you want to open that, or do you want to have interviews, or what do you want to do?
I'd like to see the prices myself and see if we're in the ballpark.
Everybody else the same?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Open them up.
I did have a question. Ekman, like you said, did a good job looking at across the street. They
Mhm.
put a fair amount of work into that. Hutter had that same information?
Yeah.
Okay, so how much of across the street is going to be reflected in the pricing here?
Don't know.
Are we absolutely wedded to across the street, or where are we at with that now?
That's
What
one
we got
thing.
left.
One thing I'd like to be able to talk to whoever we choose is across the street, and the other possibility is basically the property owned by the fire association,
Right,
and whether the police station could be fit in that area, and then when they then would have to talk about compensating the fire association for that land.
I don't know, that would even be big enough.
Now, I don't know either.
It's only that piece right there
Mhm.
from between the firehouse and the
The town
thing
hall.
back to the poles, the
Yeah.
stone wall, so that's,
Because we could have them just take a quick look at that to see if if that at all could work out, and obviously if it couldn't, then we'd go with what we have across the street, because I don't know if we have anything else.
We just sold the piece down
Yeah.
on 107, and there's the school piece. I'm just saying what there is, Cindy.
Right.
John, do we have any other options?
Not that I'm aware of right now.
Yeah, because we just ditched a bunch at the auction.
John and I had talked about the possibility of putting it where the highway garage is and move the highway garage someplace else. The only problem is then we have two votes that would have to
Yeah.
depend upon, and if we didn't get both of them, then we'd be out of luck.
I did find it interesting, though, that that's what Canterbury did. You know, and maybe that is time for us to take more of a long-term approach to all our buildings, because I believe it was Hutter that did that they moved buildings around, uses of buildings around in town, and, you know, that did cross my mind, is build the police station down there and then move the highway shed up to Brown Road or wherever,
Yep.
and have central locations for stuff. But you're right, then we're into a major two-step
Right.
job.
And a
It's too
vote
bad, I
no.
really like the sound of that concept. Keep
In a
it-
perfect world, it would be nice.
The moving of the building?
Because the highway shed is getting older. I mean,
Right.
it's not a great structure to
No.
begin with. And in a perfect world, I think that would be my choice.
Mm-hmm.
We just spent $20,000 on the salt shed.
Part of the cruiser.
Okay, I guess we open them up.
I agree, but we just spent all that money on the salt shed. I wonder if it's movable.
You're on a roll tonight,
It
Sam.
moves, Cindy.
Okay, oh boy.
That's not good.
All right. We got a couple of numbers here. This is Hutter. The design services fee was $65,000. This is for Warren Street. And then they've got $13,500 for Moran for pre-construction. And then Moran, an additional $12,000 for permitting and construction documents. And hopefully somebody's writing all these down because I'm not calculating them. Then we have Moran for structural schematic design, $1,500, structural design development, $7,200. Structural construction documents, $3,300, for a total of, on that aspect, of $12,000.
Oh, that's this
So you don't have a bottom line there, Fred?
Yeah, so we got,
90,000? Is that 90,000?
99,
that's 99,000?
basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 102.50, or 102.5, but that's,
I don't know how many we added in with those 8.7.
yeah,
It's 3.5.
exactly, somewhere in that.
Right around 100.
Well, there's another piece in here too, which they don't break out. It's, this is on Warren Street, is design, bidding, construction administration, and post-services fees. And they got 27.5 for that. But all we're looking at right now is coming up to the point of doing the design. So some of this stuff would be following into the construction phase. And I don't know how to break it out.
You want to take it and email us what you,
Yeah, I can do that.
so we get it right?
Yeah. All right, and then, and Ekman is $129,250 total. So that's architectural design, structural engineering design, mechanical, electrical, plumbing,
So that's much more than what they bid.
yeah. Site design, geotechnical testing, cost estimating, and mileage. And then they say additional services and fees for the construction phase would be required as part of the total project, which, yeah, that's true. These items would be included in the construction cost estimate, which would require voter approval. Right, okay, and that's standard. So,
So they've got all this design work figured in the 129, where I thought it was just up to a point.
well, no, well, you've got Moran, and then Moran Structural. Moran Structural is 12,000. Moran's design and design cost would be another 12,000. And their pre-construction they show is 13,500. So Moran is 37,500. Hutter is 65,000 plus some piece of 27,500.
Pretty close, really.
Yeah, they're pretty close. The 102,500 is what I've got
Yeah.
on the design coming up to bidding.
But may or may not include that 27,000.
There's a piece in that 27,500 that,
Yeah.
which would be in the design, but they don't break it out. So the question ends up being, do we want to sit down and talk with them and say, okay, what's included in here? Because I know that the way they broke it out, bidding and construction administration is, would be a substantial chunk of that 27.5, and that's all after the design has been completed,
Okay.
before we actually go to construction.
But all that structural stuff and permitting and stuff is part of the design.
Right, right.
So it looks like we're looking at a minimum of 130
120.
between the two.
Well, if we went, yeah,
Because he's got overkill, but I mean, we can't cut ourselves short.
mm-hmm.
What was the original people we talked to, their price? Do we have
Well,
that?
Growing?
yeah, Groen didn't give us they gave us a price of
They
what,
sent us an agreement, so,
right, but that was,
That was just to get the design and engineering done.
no, it wasn't
No.
even that.
No, it wasn't even that. It was pre-construction.
It was to kind of lead us through and before we actually even got to the design.
Right.
So I think their proposal was going to be to bring us up to the selling, up to getting the vote for the design. And they didn't have a price for the design. And then Barker, I forget what his price was for design.
His preliminary quote, 2.4.
Yeah, but the design cost was included.
I don't
in
remember that. yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
was really hoping there'd be a bigger discrepancy in those two.
Bigger difference, yeah.
Yeah.
One's just detailed out more than the other.
Right. Right. And I think probably for purposes of the Budget Committee, we're probably looking at, as Dick was saying, 130. And that would cover them both.
Yeah. What'd you say, Dick, and not to exceed?
Yes, because I'm sure they would if they knew that's what it was. But, I mean, Fred and I are in the minority as far as Ekman. Maybe you want to get Hutter in here and see what they really do come in at, or have them get back to us with a,
We could ask them for a breakdown on this 27.5 and what's design and what's bidding and construction. We could do that. You want to do that?
I think, I wasn't at the last budget meeting because I was doing a COVID booster recovery that day, but Zach was gonna ask them to see if they could push the public hearing back 1 week. Didn't fly? Okay, John's shaking his head, never mind.
It's going to be the 12th.
Okay. Because Zach, it sounded like the school was having time crunch on their big bond issue as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what do you think, Dwight?
I don't know. No construction guy.
Does anybody want to take a look at these?
Yeah.
so Candy is going to, they're voting on this at their town meeting, right?
That's what it said.
The way
yeah.
I read it, yeah, they haven't
Yeah,
started building or anything like
no,
that.
no.
No.
Really trying to decide if that's a big plus or
Oh, having
not.
Candia?
Yeah. I mean, it's nearby, but at the same time, I could see that not helping.
Mm-hmm.
Not helping that they're next town over.
Yeah, I could see it just actually splitting the time of the contractors because it's the next town over, rather than expediting the process of, everybody being close.
Yeah.
I could see it going either way, I guess is what I'm saying, is it could either be a big plus or a negative.
What do you think, Fred?
Well, from the price standpoint, you would be, I would say that Hutter is gonna be a little bit cheaper than Ekman. That's my read on that. Even though we got that 27,000 in question marks, but you have to be aware that they would be involved during the construction and also part of the bidding process as well. And whenever, all the projects that I've worked on where we did design and then construction, the bidding was always part of the construction, never part of the design, because you never know if
Right.
whether they're gonna proceed with the project. And so,
So just so I'm on the same page, what we're doing right now is a warrant article for the 130
right,
to design.
right.
And once we get a design, then we go back next year and say this is the design, yes or no on the cost,
Right.
right?
How much do we have left, John or Fred, from,
35, is it?
so wouldn't we take that off this price now? So
35,388.
Yeah.
We really could be under 100
Yeah,
for the warrant
Five.
article.
that's,
That's a good point.
that's true.
What's that, 35?
Yeah.
35,388.
What is that?
We could ask
That is
for
the
95.
balance on the police department building trust fund.
We've already had it approved, so. it's
That we
only-
voted, was that last year or the year before?
Year before.
Year before.
So, question, Fred, how indicative is the total price of a project? Can it be based off of this information here? So, I mean, this really doesn't tell us much about the total price of the project, does it?
Oh, no, no,
Not at all.
We wouldn't find that out until the design is complete, correct?
correct, yep.
And we're not gonna bid that out, right? We're just gonna go with the design?
Yeah, we'd end up going with whoever we choose here, because we're setting ourselves up for this whole process, which one of these two that we choose.
Jeez.
So if you consider the 35,000 that's already in the account, you would probably be fine putting in the warrant article for 95,000 and still have a little bit extra.
Right. And 95 might be easier for people to take rather than.
So this is pretty much the same thing the school's doing right now, right? They're gonna have a design warrant article and then,
I haven't seen the school's warrant
yeah,
article.
neither have I. I was hoping you had,
My impression was they already had the design done.
they have a preliminary design.
It was a preliminary, all right.
Yeah.
So do we need to even meet with these people if we're gonna run with this 95 and put it in? If it covers both of them?
Yeah, we have to make a choice, though, as to who we're gonna pick.
Right, but that would give you a chance to,
Oh, yeah, we
You
can,
don't have to do it tomorrow, right?
I'd like to have you go through and really compare apples to apples. They're both capable.
yeah,
To Dick's question, what you could do is decide that you want to put the warrant article out for 95,000, finish that language, complete the entire warrant article, recommend that, vote on it, and then do some more questioning with the builders.
yeah.
Right, but
And
we
then
could
get
have-
back to them, within the week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Sure, somebody could answer questions and add this up before next Monday.
Yeah, what I could do, I'll call them, Warren Street, and find out what portion of this is the design, and
Then
what,
with a calculator, you can add it up and get it right.
yeah.
I just
right.
don't wanna go in there with a fictitious number.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Does
Okay,
this-
that's what I'll do, and we report back to the next meeting on the 3rd? Okay.
Yeah, just one more question, Fred.
Dwight?
Does this board have a number in mind for the total project, or
Well,
has that
we
been discussed?
told them in the,
RFP.
on the RFP that we're looking for something under 2 million.
Okay,
Now, they may come back to us and say, for 2 million, we'll have to give you a prefabricated steel structure. And we may say, no, we don't want that. That's the problem. And hopefully, on the initial stages on this, we could get an idea as to what they think 2 million will buy us.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll call them and talk to them and find out what the breakdown is and report back on our next meeting. And then we can decide at that point whether we want to interview, because basically, the 130 covers them both, and we can make a decision.
95 covers both. too.
Yeah, right, 95, plus the 35.
Mhm.
Covers them both, and therefore, we can make a final decision at a later date, if that's what we want to do.
Sounds good.
Is that all right?
Thanks, Fred.
Okay. Probably make People want copies of these two?
I'd like a copy.
Yeah. Maybe, before we leave, we can.
Yeah, I'll scan them in and email them to you.
That'd be great.
That way I can give you the originals back
Okay,
tonight.
All right. What's next on the agenda?
You know, Fred, were we told that if we could find a different spot that didn't need so much construction done previous, that it could be cheaper?
Yeah, the site work across the way is a good chunk of the price. I think Barker, the first architect that we had, I think he had a price in there of like between $300,000 and $400,000. And if we could find a site that wouldn't require as much site work, then yeah, we could save money. And that's why it was the possibility of if it was feasible at all, the fire department, fire association, we could, to save money on the site work, we could compensate them if we ended up needing that piece of land, but.
And $400,000, it almost seems like we could build most of a highway garage as well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the square footage of that lot would accommodate the current
Yeah.
plan. Plus, there's a two-story plan. I mean,
Right. Which would mean like if we don't have 2 stories, we've got to go
correct.
wider. So that would probably take and
Because
shoot that down.
the building settling part on that negative review kind of scares me across the street.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's fill.
Right.
Not where the building's going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
You're on the hard,
okay.
where the statue is.
But we'd need borings across the way to wherever the building is going, just to make sure that we've got solid ground underneath it. All right, so I got my homework for me. All right, review of outstanding minutes.
Make a motion that we pass the minutes as written.
Second?
Moved and seconded.
I do have a correction. Page 14, line 12. The vote as recorded is 5 yea, 0 nay, 0 abstained. But if you turn over to page 13, line 29, you see that it states that Dick left the meeting. So it would be correct as saying 4-0-0.
Yep. Any other corrections? That was the only one?
Yeah, because they fix that later on.
Okay. All right, all those in favor of the motion with the corrections signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Vote unanimous. Vouchers, payroll manifest. A manifest for gross payroll of $81,907.71 and a net payroll of $52,340.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's vote unanimous. You can stick that in there too. We have accounts payable manifest
That instant, if you would.
in the amount of $40,100.35.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Yeah, vote unanimous. Say, gee, no solar, but
Yeah.
No, you didn't escape.
I spoke too soon. All right. Fewer than last time, fortunately, but,
Remember, if you flip up the very bottom, it's easier to sign.
oh, okay.
The McHugh method.
Yes, right. All right, I'll, as we did before, I'll give the name and road and also the amount. Paul and Kathleen Lynch at 131 Raymond Road, the amount of $16,800. Sharon Godlewski and Melissa Zich. Yep, I guess that's how you pronounce it. At 46 Middle Road in the amount of $15,000. Amy and Roger Marquis, 11 Perkins Road in the amount of $12,000. Boyle Family Homestead Trust, 181 Mount Delight Road at $8,400. Peter Lyon. Oh, okay, it is Lyon. At 14 Whittier Road in the amount of $36,000. And Gardner Tree Farm at 49 Baker Avenue in the amount of $6,000.
Motion to approve the list Fred just read off on solar.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. It's a vote unanimous.
Reminds me, John, we put the polls on Whittier Road yesterday, so you won't get any more calls about that, I assume. All right. And we have a personal action request for the interim library director. And this is for part-time, 10 hours a week at $24.98 per hour. This is a proposal by the
This offer's been made. They haven't seen the contract yet. I believe their plan is to start this person January 3rd to March 3rd
Mhm.
as a part-time 10-hour-a-week position to transition, and then after March 3rd, this person will take over as the full-time library director, and you'll see another personal action request to that effect.
Okay. So if the board is in agreement, have you authorized me to sign on behalf of the board?
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded, any discussion?
Has the library opened full-time?
I believe the
Back-
library's open regular
Back
hours.
to its hours?
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no? It's vote unanimous. Okay, then we have a contract with Emergency Education Consultants, LLC. What's this one?
This is our training company that comes in and gives the EMS training for once a month.
Oh, okay.
So you in
Yeah.
favor?
Pardon?
You in favor?
Yes. He's been with us. We've been with him a long time.
For a fee of $3,800,
Mhm.
$870, $79.
Yearly.
I'll get it right sooner or later.
What was it, 3870?
3879.
3879, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the contract with Emergency Education Consultants. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? Vote
Abstain.
unanimous.
You might want to say that a little louder, Cindy,
I abstain.
just in case the mic didn't get it.
Did you hear that, Dave?
So it's 401.
4-0.
And then we have the questionnaire, which we all received a copy of, was from Plodzik and Sanderson with regard to the
2021,
2021.
they're getting an early start on it this year.
Okay. And just need a authorization for the chair to sign
What is it for?
The audit.
You on it?
the audit.
So moved, and have Fred sign as the chair.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's vote unanimous. All right, and then this is a request for encumbrance. We wanna hang on to that until,
I would recommend, at this time, the board can sign it. The monies we're looking for is $7,200. Ray called 6 different painting contractors and heard back from one with a contract and a bid, which is underneath the encumbrance sheet.
Yep.
We currently have $7,200 left in the town hall maintenance line, and that's what I'm recommending, that we encumber, bring it forward for the spring for one side of the town hall.
So moved.
is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Well, any discussion?
Didn't we
Where's the
vote
project?
to do this already?
You did, that's just a formal document.
Okay.
Yeah, we discussed it about a month ago or so.
Mhm.
It's,
Quality painting.
Quality Painting,
Good, they're the one that did it before.
David
They've
Hanson.
done it several years.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. The vote unanimous.
Is that the only encumbrance we have?
Yes.
Oh, well, we got one from the planning board.
seen it yet.
You have signed a contract amendment with Southern New Hampshire for $10,500.
Okay.
He was supposed to forward that to you, but I guess he didn't. How much money does the planning board have left over?
$10,241.
I guess it's gonna be $10,241 rather than $10,500.
That should be all right.
Yeah.
So as soon as Pete can give me that signed contract, I can get the paperwork.
Do we have to vote on that
Oh,
tonight,
that-
though?
That has to be approved tonight with a
Yeah.
signed contract in order to carry it forward. It has to be before the first of the year.
Right.
We can vote on it now, can't we?
Yeah, I think we can vote on it,
Why
yeah.
wouldn't we?
Yeah, you can
So-
vote on it, and if I can get it, I can send it electronically for signatures
Okay.
out to you, hopefully tomorrow.
You
Okay.
said it was with Southern New Hampshire Planning, right?
Yeah, right.
Who we already have a contract with.
Correct, right. So
Okay.
that becomes a contract amendment.
That's a little easier than if we didn't have a contract.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I have a motion to, I need a motion to approve encumbrance for the planning board at 10,200 and what,
41,
41?
right?
Yeah.
10-241, is that what I said? 10-241.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. It's vote unanimous.
Anything else, Fred?
That's it, I think. I think that's all I know of.
So Pete has this signed contract?
Either Pete or Jane, one of the two.
Okay. I'll check with both tomorrow.
Okay. And correspondence. Oh. Thurston Pond Dam.
Of course.
Ah,
Not the road, it's the dam.
Damn road.
You want to, you know what the total of, what we're talking about here in this letter, rather than reading it?
That letter is from DES as a result of the complaint that was filed
Mm-hmm.
on the cleaning off of the beaver dam on the Thurston Pond Dam. And what the complaint essentially says is there was an inspection done. They did notice some washout area on the downstream side of the dam on the north side, and the recommendation is that if this is to be done again, that it be done with a better plan and as to not cause any erosion downstream.
I'll read that
Yeah.
piece. This notice of past violation is to inform you the above referenced violation has been documented and will be maintained on file at DES. Future work to remove beaver dam debris should be conducted in a manner which does not impact the spillway and minimizes impacts to the side slopes of the Class 6 roadway. No further action is required at this time relative to the violation, and DES will take no further enforcement action at this time. So that's the important thing. I was concerned that we were going to be looking at a potential fine or something. So. All right, so that's, got to have that letter, and,
Rooms and meals tax, check.
oh, rooms and meal tax check of $344,443.64.
Those are split out by what? By population?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I know it's not split out by the amount of revenue Deerfield's kicked into the fund.
I was going to say, that's a lot of hamburgers at
Yeah, that's
Lazy
a busy
Lion.
time at Lazy Lion.
It likely is population.
Yeah. And then we have something from Mr. Gatsas. And Notice from the planning board and agenda for the planning board for the January 12th. That's all we got. All right, town administrators report.
Okay, several items here. First on is the warrant article number 6, which I believe the board just discussed when they were reviewing the results of the bidder review. I have some suggested language for the warrant article, now that we have a dollar amount.
Yep.
To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $95,000 to be placed in the previously established Police Department Building Expendable Trust Fund. Trust fund for the purpose of having engineering and architectural plans prepared for a new police department building and for the dissemination of information relative to the planning and design of such building.
That's good.
Basically, I use the same language, just not to
Mhm.
establish.
All right.
And if the board is good with that language, I will change the warrant and have it available for the municipal budget committee.
So if this doesn't pass, the police station's done.
Done for next year, yeah.
We have 35,000.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't see any other way we could do it.
Right,
I mean, it's gotta be a warrant article.
right.
Yep.
And one, in the Ekman's proposal there, that they did a brief summary of all the points that came up in the Primex report, which would be good to be able to use those, because they're short and sweet in any campaign that we have going
Well,
to
we
get this
have-
approved.
We have the video itself, don't we? We should start pushing that too.
The video that the police department produced?
Yeah.
Before we come off this topic, if the board could do their recommendations.
And we have a recommendation for the warrant article in the amount of 95,000. Show of hands, I guess.
Okay,
5-0.
thank you. Also looking to get an answer from the board as to where they would like the location of the deliberative and voting session for the town. That will need to be placed on the warrant article, and we need to give Malloy Sound some advance notice, and we also need some time for the logistics of moving things if we
Right.
have to move them.
When's it, January 1?
It's,
March 8th.
the deliberative session is January
Oh,
5th. Excuse me,
No,
February 5th.
Yeah.
First Saturday in February and
February.
February 12th. And the school may be having it at the school. I haven't had confirmation from that, so it may just be the town having their deliberative session
Mhm.
and voting at a different location.
So Don Wyman was okay with doing that, right?
I believe
He
so.
said he was last.
Yeah.
my personal preference is I'd rather have it up at the fairgrounds if possible.
That's,
It's just more room.
right. That's kind of what my feeling is too. We got to make sure, we gave the association some compensation for using it last
We
year,
did,
right?
yes.
Okay. We want to make sure we do that again this year.
We wouldn't have to do both the upstairs and the downstairs this time, would we?
Not for deliberative. We opened downstairs for the women's club for the election,
Yeah.
which I
Right, no,
assume.
deliberative,
Some of those nuts, you wouldn't
unmasked
wear a
was
mask.
downstairs.
Oh,
So but we don't
Oh.
have that issue this year, right? If,
I think the fair's gonna kind of push just the upstairs.
there's no, shoot, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
but we don't have to have, it's not mandatory to have masks. Oh, and our meetings there is.
It's an extension of our meeting here, though.
Right.
I would sure as heck, the reason we're going there is to provide a safer environment. I
Mm-hmm.
would sure as heck hope that we would have a mask requirement for being in that room, even though there's no state mask requirement.
There's no downstairs in the town hall, as far as
You're right there.
So it's do or die.
And we could highly recommend it.
Well, I think we
Or-
could,
Big
I
enough
think,
to give them a corner.
Yeah, that's the other
Corner.
What do
possibility.
we do when we vote? They come in that back door and
Right,
yeah,
maybe we do
Greg
that.
doubted that last year.
Maybe we do that. And just stay upstairs
So just plan on it then upstairs.
With
We'll
a-
bring it up at the meeting, make
with
sure.
a separate mic
Mhm.
for.
Yeah, there's some time to work out the
and we
the
can talk
actual
to
fine.
Dan on
right.
that stuff.
So, Arts and Crafts Building?
Yes.
Okay.
Dwight?
Yes, definitely.
I think we're all in agreement on that.
That'd be for the deliberative and voting.
Yeah,
Okay,
And there's no November voting this year, correct?
right.
I don't believe so.
I don't think so,
In 22, yeah.
but not this year.
Oh, no, not, well,
I know this is a light year for voting. That's all. I
You've
don't
got-
know the exact dates.
we've got the state election in November, yeah.
Okay, that's all I had for you this evening.
Okay. We got the draft warrant articles, that's taken care of, and we already decided on the deliberative, any new business, and we've already taken care of encumbrances. Any other business? Nobody has anything? All right, citizens' comments.
Happy New Year.
What's that?
Happy New Year.
I forgot.
Is there a second?
Second?
Moving to second to adjourn at 6:30?
On the dot.
All right. Thank you all.
Happy New Year.
If that's, everybody votes in the affirmative on that, of course.